Hello students. The subject is system programming and compiler computation and the topic is loader and linker. Now these are the system programs. We know that there are various system programs like loaders, linkers, assembler, compilers. Now here we are discussing the system program that is loaders and linkers. Basically, loaders and linkers are used to load the program in main memory and to link all the object modules to create a one executable file. A programming language provides a library of routines for tasks such as creation, reading, writing of files, and evaluation of all the mathematical and other functions like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and etc. Okay, so when we compile this program, the language translator generate a call for appropriate library routine. Thus, the code of target program cannot execute all by itself, even if that program is in the machine language. First, it has to be combined with the codes of library routines before it can be executed. Okay, sometimes also the application needs other programs which wish to invoke in our program. In such cases, its code has to be similarly combined with the code of all these programs. So for this, a linker, a system program is used. The linker combines the code of target program with the code of other programs and with all the library routines. So the linker create all the object modules. To facilitate linking, the language translator builds an object module which contains both the target code and the information about the other program as well as the information about all the library routines. The linker extract this information from the object module and combine this with the target code of the program to produce a program in machine language that can execute without requiring the assistance of any other program. That means this program is a complete executable file, and such a program is called as a binary program. Okay, after that, loader, that is the system program, load this binary program into the main memory for the execution purpose. Okay, this is a schematic of loader and linker. First, a target program is given as an input to the translator. Translator translate this source program into different object modules. Okay, linker link all the object modules together and combine one complete executable file, which is called as a binary program. Then the loader takes this binary program and load it into the main memory for the execution purpose. The basic function of a loader. Loader performs 4 basic functions. The first one is a allocation. A loader calculates the program size and coordinate with the operating system to get enough space allocated in the main memory for the program. Okay, this is the allocation. So allocation is nothing but allocate the program into the main memory by calculating its space. The second function is a linking. A single program may include references between its different segments and may refer to external program data and subroutines as well. So the important job of loader is to resolve this inter-segment and inter-program references. Means resolve means to link all these inter-segment references, also inter-program references, and generate a single continuous piece of code that can be directly executed. This is the linking function. The third function is a relocation, which is the important one. As per the need, the operating system may move, or move means relocate. Operating system relocate one or more segment of the program from the area of memory to the another area of the memory. When the program gets relocated, instructions referring to the code or the data in this relocated segment must also be changed. Such instructions which must be changed when relocation occurs are called address sensitive instructions. So in this case, the job of loader is to adjust addresses of all such address sensitive instruction when operating system relocates one or more program segment. This function is relocation. And the last function is a loading. The loader finally places the executable code in the main memory and initiate the execution by transferring control to the starting location of program into the memory. That means loading the executable code completely. The next system program is a linker. The basic function of linker is to link all the subprograms or modules. A linker is a system program that resolves all address references within each object module and among several object modules of a program and combine them to produce a single .exe file, that is a single executable file. A linker essentially performs linking and relocation function for the loader. Also, there are some functions of a linker. The first function is linking object files. A linker link multiple relocatable object files used by a program and generate a single executable .exe file that can be loaded and executed by the loader. Next function, that is resolving external references. While linking all the object files, the linker resolve inter-segment and inter-program references to generate a single continuous executable file. Here, linker resolve means linker link all the inter-segment or inter-program references to each other and create one continuous executable file. The next function, that is relocate symbols. A linker relocates symbols from their relative locations in input object files to new absolute positions in the executable file. This is the general schematic of linking and loading. Now here there are three programs: a parent program, external program 1 and external program 2. All these programs are input to the assembler. So assembler take all these programs, assemble them and generate a different object modules for the different programs. So there are now three object modules. Now linker take all these object modules, link them together to create one complete executable.exe file. And after that, this exe file is given to the loader, which then loaded into the main memory. The relocation and linking concept. The function of translator is first translation of a program. Okay. The execution steps of the programs are: first, a translation of program is done by the translator. Then linker perform two steps: linking of a program with the other programs needed for execution. Also, relocation of the program to execute from specific memory area allocated to it. And then last step executed by the loader, loading of program into the main memory for the purpose of execution. We know that computer program comprises of several modules, and all these modules are need not be contained within a single object file. So in such cases, these modules are referred to each other by means of the symbols. Typically, an object file has three kinds of symbols. One is a publicly defined symbol, externally defined symbol, and the local symbol. Publicly defined symbols allowed to be called by other modules also. Externally defined symbols, also called as external references. They call other module where these symbols are defined only. And the last are the local symbols used internally within the object file to facilitate the relocation. Linkers do not include the full library in the output. It only includes the objects which are required from the library. It only includes the symbols that are referenced from the other object files and arrange the objects in program's address space. A compiler is not aware where an object will reside. It often assumes a fixed base location. The executable code by the linker may need another relocation pass when it is finally loaded into the memory. Now about the different loading schemes. There are various loading schemes like compiler and go loader, absolute loader, relocation loader, direct linking loader, dynamic loading loader, and dynamic linking loader. These are also called as the types of loaders. The first is a compile and go loader. A compile and go loader is one in which the assembler itself does the process of compiling. This is the very basic scheme of the loader. The instruction is read line by line. Its machine code is obtained and it is directly put into the main memory at some known address. So it is first compile and then go into the main memory directly. The address of storage in memory is decided by the programmer and stays fixed. The loader simply takes each line of machine code generated by the assembler and places it into the main memory at a fixed location. This process continues until all the machine code has been placed into the memory. Means all the instructions of a program of machine codes are read and converted into the machine language. Finally, the loader initiates the execution by transferring control of execution to the starting location of the program. Here, one important thing is that compile and go loader does not generate an object file. All the machine codes are directly loaded into the main memory at a specific address. The advantages of this loader is this is a very simple scheme to implement as it is very easy, as the only function of loader is to place the object code into the memory and initiate the execution. There is no generation of an object file. But the disadvantages are execution time is high. Relocation is a tedious and time-consuming job because every time when the machine code is read and loaded into the main memory, it is loaded anywhere into the memory, not in a continuous address space. So every time we have to relocate all the instructions. This loading scheme cannot handle program segments and subroutines in the program. This is the main disadvantage of compile and go loader. The next loader scheme is absolute loader. Again, this is the simple one. In an absolute loader, the assembler generates the object file which can be stored on secondary storage instead of being directly loaded into the memory. So along with each object file, assembler also gives information about starting address and the total length of that object file. So here the programmer does the allocation part and the linking functions explicitly for the loader. So loader simply does the task of loading the object file into the memory and initiating the execution. Here is a schematic for the absolute loader. Now there are three segments, segment 1, segment 2 and segment 3 given to the assembler, assemble them, create the object modules 1, 2 and 3. Now here the programmer itself specify the starting address of each object and also the length, total length of that object. So for object 1, starting address is 100 and the complete length is 40. Object 2, starting address 200, length is 40. And object 3, starting address is 300, length is 40. This information is given by the programmer itself. So only here the function of loader is load these object modules into the main memory at the given address. The advantages of absolute loader is since the assembler does not always reside in the main memory, it leaves more main memory space available to the user. Disadvantage is the programmer must do memory management since he explicitly does the allocation and linking for the loader. The next loading scheme is relocating loader. When a single subroutine is changed, then all the subroutines need to be reassembled. For a program, single program, if any of the subroutine is changed, then we have to reassemble all the subroutines in that program. The task of allocation and linking must be carried out once again. So to avoid this rework, new class of loader is introduced, which is called as relocating loader. So first a source program is given to assembler, then it is given to relocating loader, which gives the information about all the objects modules, object program, as well as inter-segment references. And then it is loaded into the main memory. The assembler takes the source program as input. This source program may call external subroutines. Hence, assembler produces the object code as an output along with a table. The table contains the information. It contains entries of the external references which are present in the program. This table is called as a transfer vector. So all the external references which are present in a complete program are recorded into the transfer vector table. The assembler also provides some additional information to the loader. This information include the length of entire program, complete length of the program, and the length of transfer vector portion, that is the length of transfer vector table. The loader load the object program and the transfer vector table into the main memory. Then it would load each subroutine identified in the transfer vector. So all the external references means all the subroutines which are already recorded into the transfer vector are then identified. Some instructions in the program need to be relocated while other need not be relocated. Assembler associates a bit called relocation bit with each instruction or address. If the bit is equal to 1, that means corresponding address field must be relocated. Otherwise, if the bit is 0, it means the address field need not be relocated. So this is the function of relocation bit. The advantages of relocation loader is any change in program size can be taken care of dynamically. Only the required subroutines can be kept in main memory rather than keeping all the subroutines at the same time. Also, because of this, the main memory size is reduced. Main memory requirement is reduced. But there are disadvantages also. Transfer vector based approach is suitable for only resolving the external subrouting references and not references to external program data. Okay, so this transfer vector is suitable only if there are external subroutine only. If the program is referred to external another program, then in that case, this transfer vector is not suitable. For several subroutines in program, the size of transfer vector increases. Next is direct linking loader. Most popular loading scheme. The direct linking loader is also called as DLL. This DLL is a generally relocatable loader. It allows programmer multiple procedure segments and multiple data segments. Hence, the procedures and data from other segments can be referred freely by the program. This loader scheme performs the translation of source program independently. The source program is read by the assembler and assembler submit the information to the loader. This information is the length of that program or length of segment, list of symbols in the segment which may be referenced by other segment and relative address of these symbols. Symbol means whether it is locally identified or externally identified symbol, or it may be a public symbol. So all the list of symbols in that segment are stored, recorded. List of symbols not defined in the segment, but referred by the segment also. So this information is also given to the loader. The information about the location of addressed constant and the translated machine code along with the assigned relative address. So all these informations are recorded and then it is given to the loader. Now the important part of DLL is DLL produces 4 types of card: EST, TXT, RLD and END. That means ESD, that is a external symbol directory. In short, it is called as ESD. This contains information about all the external symbols which are present into the main program. Now, these symbols are of 2 types. First, The symbols are defined in the program but referred elsewhere. They are not referred in our program. Second time, the symbols are referred in the program but they are defined elsewhere. Okay, so such type of symbols are recorded into a table which is called as external symbol directory. The second card, ESD card, will be of this type. It contains source card reference number, then type of symbol, then the type, relative location, and the length. The type of ESD are SD, that is a segment definition, LD, that is a local definition, and ER, that is external reference. Okay. So all the information related to the symbols or references are recorded into this ESD card table. The next card is TXT, that is text card. This text card contains the translated code produced by the assembler. The content of the table is source card reference number, its relative location, and the content stored into this or shown into this instruction. The next card is RLD, that is relocation and linkage directory. This contains information about those locations in the program whose contents depend on addresses at which the program is placed. The RLD card contains the following information like relative location, by what the constant must be changed to, and the operation to be performed. The content of RLD card is symbol, then the source card reference number, then the length of that instruction, then the flag bit, and the relative location. Here the flag bit indicate which operation to be followed. And end card initiate the end of the object program. So the assembler submits the information is in these 4 cards to the loader. So there is the schematic. So assembler first gather all the information, stored that information into the 4 cards, that is ESD, TXT, RLD, and end. And all this information is then given to the loader. Direct linking loader works on 2 pass algorithm. The purpose of pass 1 is to construct a global external symbol table, that is also called GEST, by gathering all externally referenced symbols. And purpose of pass 2 is to use this GEST and generate a single concatenated load module. The data structures of DLL. DLL use the following data structures. First, it uses public and external tables for every program segment. In public, all the publicly referenced symbols are stored, and in external table, all the external reference symbols are stored. The second data structure is a global external symbol table, that is GEST. Again, GEST is simply a global collection of external references that gathers all symbols from all public and external tables into one table. So simply GEST is nothing but collection of all the public as well as external symbols into one complete table. The structure of GEST, it contains symbol name, type of that symbol, usage address, and the definition address for that symbol. The next data structure, that intermediate load module, ILM. The pass 1 of DLL dump machine code of all input objects module into ILM and reads only public and external tables of each program segment to construct a GEST. This ILM along with GEST is passed on to pass 2, which actually perform the relocation. Apart from all these data structure, DLL also use the pointers, that is GEST pointer. This is used to keep track of location being read from GEST in pass 1 or being written into GST in pass 2. So for this reading and writing purpose, this pointer is used. Location counter, to keep track of location being written into the intermediate load module, that is ILM in pass 1, or written into the main memory in pass 2. So these are the two pointers used in DLL. The next loading scheme is a dynamic loading loader. Sometimes a program may require more storage space than the available one. So execution of such program can be possible if all the segments are not required simultaneously to be present in the main memory. So in such situations, only those segments are reside in the memory that are actually needed at the time of execution. So what will happen if the required segment is not present in the memory while the time of execution? So in that case, the execution process will be delayed until required segment gets loaded in the main memory. And because of this, the overall effect is efficiency of execution process gets degraded, reduced. The efficiency can be improved by carefully selecting all the interdependent segments. And this task is not done by the assembler. Here, the user can specify such dependencies. The interdependency of the segment can be specified by a tree-like structure, which is called as an overlay structure. This overlay structure contains multiple nodes and edges. Each node represents the segment. The specification of the required amount of memory is also essential. Two segments can lie simultaneously in the main memory if they are on the same path. Usually, the subroutines of program are needed at different times. For example, pass 1 and pass 2 of assembler are mutually exclusive. By explicitly recognizing which subroutine calls other subroutines, it is possible to produce overlay structure which identify mutually exclusive subroutines. Overlay structure to work. It is necessary for the module loader to load the various procedures as they are needed. Portion of loader that actually intercepts the calls and loads the necessary procedure is called overlay supervisor or flipper. And this scheme is called as a dynamic loading. So all these are the system programs and different schemes for the loaders. Thank you.